Alright, are we gonna get the date now, or? There's a lot of stuff. Well, that makes sense, because I absolutely did 0 of it during my initial playthrough. But RIKKA may have been partially exaggerating about wanting to swoon, I guess, during our date. I'd still like to try making it as enjoyable as possible. The real question is how. Saying I lack experience in romance would be a huge understatement. Maybe I could ask someone, but do I know anyone capable of giving useful dating advice? Kiba! I love the question mark. Okay, so Sayori is a no, because of course I'll just make her cry. I don't really want to tell Yuri, because of course, you know, Yuri is my favorite character, and anytime, if I was in the Doki Doki universe, I would choose Yuri any time of the day, or any opportunity I get, or whatever. So I don't really want to see her reaction about I found someone else. I'm interested to see what Kiba thinks, but mostly because of a entertainment standpoint. Natsuki. Yeah, well, RIKKA is just like Natsuki, but just slightly different. Like a slightly altered version of Natsuki. And she would just probably just like, why the fuck are you calling me? Monika would have, like, I'd say Kiba or Monika. Monika would have, like, actual advice, and Kiba would just be funny. Let's just go Kiba, let's see what happens. Maybe I can get to choose all of them. Kiba, huh? That's a horrible idea! Oh, I can't even do it. Okay, Monika. In that case, I would choose Monika. Like I said, I wouldn't choose Sayori, because I would probably just make her cry, and she, like, I don't really want that. Like, it would be, like, not only did we not tell Sayori that I'm in a relationship, also, like, the first time she's hearing about it is me asking dating advice about this other girl. Like, given how, you know, Sayori's situation, and he knows, like, you know, like, we already probably had that scene where Sayori was in the classroom and, like, oh, I like you, and I like you more than you like me, and stuff. Like, and then the very first, like, immediately after that, like, I'm not telling Sayori that I've got a girlfriend, and then the first time I'm telling her is when I'm asking her for advice on dating this other girl. Like, that's just... that is, like, the stuff that would destroy an entire friendship, I feel like. Especially with someone like Sayori. So, therefore, I wouldn't choose Sayori. Wouldn't choose Yuri, because, you know, Yuri's my favorite person in the character in the game. And, you know, if I were in the Doki Doki universe, I would pursue Yuri. And I don't really want to see her reaction of I found someone else. Someone that I don't like, as in, you know, because like I said, so RIKKA is just like Natsuki, and I don't like Natsuki either. So, well, I like her as a friend, so, you know, like I don't like her as a romantic interest. So, you know, like, I would have to, like, confidently tell Yuri, hey, I'm dating this girl and I really like her, I need some advice or whatever. And like, even though I'm pretty sure Yuri would give good advice, and you would notice a thing that she was very heartbroken, because that's just the person that Yuri is. I just don't want to do that to her, you know? Because, like I said, she's my favorite character, and if it was me in this universe, I would pursue Yuri all the way. Or, you know, well, pursues. Would try to... she would be the person that I would try to date or whatever, you know? Well, I already said that I don't like Natsuki. I like her as a friend, but not as a romantic interest. And especially because our relationship is not that great. No way in hell that she would give me some sound advice, but Monika seems like the voice of reason in this universe, where she's not self-aware, you know? That might actually work. Yeah, you see, that's like what I said. Monika would have the most solid advice. Monika and Yuri, but like I said, I don't want to do that to Yuri. Monika isn't one to lose her composure over something like dating, regardless of if she's acting the class star or not. Plus, she's bound to have experience going to all sorts of places from her time on the volleyball team. Not to mention, she probably doesn't care one way or the other about my love life. Yeah, that's not true. But this character doesn't know that at this point, in this route, in this universe. Because, you know, every route is essentially like a different universe or whatever, like a different branch where he chooses one or the other. Or the girls choose one of the... Well, they all choose him, sort of, or whatever, you know, but whatever. Guess it's worth a shot. I can always fall back on Sayori or Natsuki if things end up not working. No, if Monika doesn't work out, I would move on to Yuri. Neither of those two. Natsuki, because she'll just fucking... absolutely nothing useful will come out of that conversation. And the same thing, nothing useful will come out of that situation either, but that is because I would completely fucking destroy Sayori's entire fucking mental stability. Or how much is left of her mental stability due to her depression. I would fucking they will all just evaporate in front of my eyes if I told Sayori. And Natsuki just, you know, like she won't give me a good answer because it's Natsuki. So if Monika doesn't work out, then we ask Yuri. White House, my phone vibrating. Weather update. Yeah, I know it's raining. Thinking this, I pull up her contact info and begin typing a message asking if she's busy. After a few minutes, my phone alerts me to an incoming call. Hello? Hey Monika, sorry for the sudden message. No worries, I'm getting ready for cram school right now, but I've got time to talk. Did you need something? Do you know any good date spots? Is this a prank call? Not exactly. There's a few seconds of silence as Monika is apparently contemplating something on the other end of the line. Right. You said date spots, didn't you? That wasn't just my connection being bad? You heard right, though date ideas in general would also be appreciated. Dating advice, huh? Should I even ask what's going on? There isn't much to say, honestly. Of course not. She lets out an audible sigh. Well, I never thought I'd have this conversation with you, of all people. But seeing how you're my most junior club member, I'm willing to help you out. Consider this your friendly neighborhood Monika's lesson on love. Is she a comic book hero now? My schedule doesn't allow much time for things like dating, but I'll still lay out a plan so good that even Natsuki wouldn't be able to stop herself from confessing. That's reassuring. The next several minutes are spent with Monika relaying an in-detail date plan, while also sending the addresses of various places she recommends. Feel free to interchange them as you see fit. But the last place is an absolute must visit, understand? The date won't be complete without going there. Seriously? The one in Nishio? Won't the train ride alone waste half the day? You're the one who called me, remember? I'm just telling you what I think is best. Right. After jotting down some notes onto a piece of paper, I bring up something that's been on my mind ever since she started giving advice. For someone who doesn't have time for dates, you seem to have this whole romance thing down. Assuming the info you gave me is actually useful anyways. Believe me, it's a lot better than anything you could ever come up with. And a girl can dream, can't she? So you're a romanticist, are you? Color me surprised. Talk about the pot calling the castle black. You said there wasn't much of a story behind why you wanted this kind of help, but I'm guessing you didn't just call to hear my voice. Though I'd understand completely if you did. Sorry to disappoint, but my Monika gouges are still full for the time being. Well, this isn't exactly right. You could say my reason is to meet another person's expectations. A struggle I'm sure you're more than familiar with. That's all you needed to say. Well, good luck with whatever it is you're planning to do with this information. And feel free to cite me as the source. No publicity is bad publicity after all. I'll keep that in mind. Oh, and thanks Monika, this will be really helpful. Whoa, did I just hear happiness in your voice? You must be really out of it. Yeah, an apt description. It's about time for me to leave the house, so I'll be seeing you in the club, Mark. and slip me some details on how things went when you get a chance, okay? When the time is right, maybe. What do you mean when the time? Just say yes. Like, what the fuck? Upon ending the call, my attention returns to the paper, currently littered with store names and train lines. She's even a pro when it comes to love, huh? Honestly, does the girl ever take a day off? While lamenting to myself over how amazing the club president is, I once again pull up the contact list before starting another call. After a few seconds of ringing... Hello, is that you, Mark? Wanted to hear the sound of your cute underclassman so badly you couldn't wait till practice? You're unusually smug. Something got you in high spirits? What girl wouldn't be excited about getting a call from her senpai? It loses some luster since you're the senpai in question, but I'll make do. So, what are you up to? Laying on the couch in your bed, maybe? Don't tell me you're in the bath. Honestly, you can be so lewd sometimes. Would you mind actually letting me answer before accusing me of anything? I'm in my kitchen right now. You're naked in the kitchen? Isn't that kind of weird? Why am I naked all of a sudden? That's what I'm wondering. I probably would have gone ahead and ended this call if it were with anyone other than RIKKA. Listen, I'm standing in the kitchen fully dressed with nothing immoral going on. Sounds boring, no wonder you wanted to talk to me. You little punk. Sorry, just needed to refill my bully senpai energy. So, what did you really need? Nothing much, I was only calling to let you know the plans for our date have been drawn up. Finishing the list will take some time, so we'll have to do it on a day off. Whoa, you actually managed to figure something out? Of course, how could I not after you went and set the difficulty level to swoon? The line goes silent for several seconds. Is something wrong? Having second thoughts, maybe? No, it's not that. I'm just excited and happy, I guess. Even though I'm the one inviting you? Heh. That definitely does take away from the experience a little, but it's all the more reason for you to try even harder. I know I said you were cute when you acted demanding, but I'll be totally drained before graduation at this rate. Consider this punishment for making me fall for you. Isn't something like that supposed to be rewarded? Heh. So you basically just called me to let me know I should keep my schedule open on days off, right? Essentially, we'll have to leave in the morning and have any chance of getting back before the sun's gone down. You wouldn't happen to be an early bird, would ya? I have my days, but if it's for a date with senpai, I'm sure I'll be brimming with energy regardless of the time. So you can say endearing things after all. Just trying to butter up that wallet of yours. What did I do in a past life to get stuck with such a cheeky underclassman? Must have been pretty damn good, whatever it was. We talked for a while longer before saying our goodbyes and giving me a chance to shift through all the info Monika sent me. Alright, Saturday. The weather's nice, the heat isn't bad, and there doesn't seem to be many people out. Today seems like the perfect time to go on our date. Just gotta find out if she's available or not first. Thinking this, I pull out my phone and send a quick message asking if she's busy. After waiting for about a minute, nope. Then would you be interested in going out together? Ooh, is today finally the big day? Sorry, but I'm afraid the idea of marriage still terrifies me. Not what I meant. So, you said we need to leave in the morning, right? Yeah, we should be at the train station no later than 9:45. But that only gives me an hour to pretty myself for our big date. No worries, you're plenty attractive as you are. Dork, how can you say something so cheesy unironically? Oh, feeling bashful perhaps? Yeah, right, don't think a little sweet talk will be enough to make me swoon. Yeah, if only things were that easy. She sends another message saying she's gonna start getting ready, which leaves me to begin doing the same. I do wonder if he's actually gonna say that Monika told him this. Mark! Hearing this exclaimed from down the street, I look over to find RIKKA waving her arms maniacally at me. Glad to see you weren't joking about being full of energy. Of course, it's not every day you get to be spoiled rotten by your senpai after all. That a fact? RIKKA is once again wearing the sundress she got during our blackmail-induced shopping trip. Shipping. I may have not emphasized this enough last time, but you really do look amazing in that outfit. Well, obviously, the whole reason I chose it was to make you fall for me all over again. Feel free to feast your eyes, so long as they stay on the dress, that is. Well, what's underneath does certainly interest me. I suppose I'll hold back this, since this is our first official date. Aren't you a gentleman? Tell me, does that pervert side of yours ever take a break? Quite often, actually. The only time I have lewd thoughts is when I'm around you. That is not something you say on our first date. She punches me in the shoulder as her face begins growing red. I see, perhaps I'll save it for the second one then. At this rate you'll be lucky to get a second. Sorry if I'm just a little nervous at how this will go. You've sure got a strange way of showing it. Yeah, you'd be hard pressed to find a part of my personality that's normal. They gotta say that twice. Now come on, aren't we supposed to be dating it up? Dating it up? Let's hurry and get this party started. Let's get it started in here. She grabs my arm and begins pulling me in the direction of the station. During the train ride, I tell her some of the details of my plan, such as how we're currently on our way to Nagoya. Once she has a general idea of how things will go, we pass the rest of the time shooting the shit while she acts abnormally clingy. Whoa! Not long after leaving the station, Rikka stops on the sidewalk to admire the skyline. Everything here looks really big. Heh, like a kid in a candy store. But is there really anything special about a bunch of steel-wind windows? Well, sorry for acting excited on our date. And what about you, huh? You're the one who looks like they just finished running a marathon. Was my big bad senpai not able to handle a little old train ride? The trip here was fine, just the crowds of people that bother me. For real? You like claustrophobic or something? That's hilarious. At least I'm not a bumpkin who gets turned on by a few tall buildings. It's not my fault. You're lucky I didn't run off and become a farmer after spending so much time at my grandmother's house. True, the town she lives in is about as exciting as arthritis. And what about you? I wouldn't think big cities are your scene based on how pale you look right now. Now, are you getting dragged out to places like... Or are you getting dragged out to places like this by all those girls you talk to? Sorry to disappoint, but you're the only girl I'm willing to let drag me around. And visiting cities isn't what I want to do. My circumstances just kind of force me. What do you mean your circumstances? Trying to sound broody again? Again? Well, whatever. That's a conversation for some other time. Aren't we supposed to be dating it up right now? Geez, just how excited are you about getting on one little date? Don't you know acting desperate will make girls think you're creepy, senpai? Though, I guess feeling that way is understandable, considering how amazing I am. Yeah, goddess among men, yada yada. Getting ready to get away from the crowds, I grab her hand and begin heading towards our first stop. We arrive at Monika's first recommendation not long after. Ah, this cafe with that fucking abomination in the corner. Oh, actually, I just realized that my fucking... There. Just realized that my face cam is in the wrong corner. Yeah, Rikka's eyes light up as we step through the door. Seriously? Is this what I think it is? You've heard of this place before? Are you kidding? The girls in my class have been talking about it non-stop for weeks. Guess Monika's trendy cafe description was spot on. Though everything here seems kinda generic if you ask me. Could you at least try to hide your what's so special about this place look? Sorry, didn't realize I had such a specific expression. Well, this place was a good pick, so I'll let your attitude slide for now. Let's go ahead and order. She practically skips over to the counter with me following reluctantly behind. Our orders consist of a black coffee and something that sounds more like a dessert than a drink. Rikka's eyes are practically glued to her chocolate, cinnamon and whipped cream beverage as we walk back to the table. The expression on her face is something you'd expect to see on Sayori, not a mildly delinquent person like her. My amused stare doesn't last for long, though, as she soon glances up at me. And what's got you all smiley, huh, punk? Something funny? Entertaining would be a more accurate description, and you're gonna have a hard time being intimidating with that sitting in front of you. You got a problem with my drink? Several, actually. Listen, there ain't nothing wrong with occasionally rewarding yourself, even I've gotta satisfy my sweet tooth from time to time. Poor tooth is gonna be a lot more diabetic after drinking, eating, consuming that. Pff, are you kidding me? You're looking at a girl whose body is the pinnacle of human evolution. No, that's Yuri. That's Yuri. Rikka, that's not you. You, just like with Natsuki, my main point of critique is the fact that you look like you're not adults yet. Which is why I have very little to actually... Very little is a very bit of an understatement. Well, I have like zero, zilch romantic feelings. Because you look like you're not fully developed yet. If I am allowed to put it that way, Rikka. But yeah, no. Your body is not the pinnacle of evolution. That's Yuri. Anyway, this much won't even put a dent in my health. She sticks her chest out with all the pride in the world while saying this. Plus, who are you to complain? We come all the way to Nagoya just to order... For you to just order a black coffee? What are you, my granddad? Haven't you heard the saying consistency is the key to happiness? You mean variety is the spice of life? Same thing, really. Jeez, it's like I'm dealing with a toddler. Says you! Says you! What the fuck? She shakes her head in disapproval before taking a sip. That really is sweet. Should you really be acting surprised? Alright then, Mr. Smartass, you take a drink. Let's see if the sugar helps with that bitter attitude of yours. Don't get your hopes up, Sayori would have been force-feeding me candy all these years. If it were that easy. She slides the cup in my direction, leading me to notice an obvious problem. There's only one straw. Indirect kiss! You sure? Wouldn't this technically be an indirect kiss? Yeah, are you really worried about something like that? We're not elementary schoolers, you know? Or does the thought of having an indirect kiss with me make your heart race? If the thought doesn't, I'm sure the near lethal amount of caffeine and sugar will. Readying myself, I take a drink. The coffee flavor is practically non-existent as my mouth is flooded with the taste of chocolate and cinnamon. Calling this sweet would be a massive understatement. So, what do you think? Pretty good, huh? Anything's better than coffee, so in my experience, so sure. I can feel my pH level shifting. Ugh. You just don't have a taste for the finer things in life. It's a bit of a double entendre there, Rikka, since I chose you as my date. She snatches back the cup and continues drinking. Perhaps, but this is fine too. I'd much rather watch you enjoy it than drink it myself. What's that supposed to mean? The contrast between your serious and girly side is really cute. Which makes watching you switch between the two pretty fun. Her face begins turning red as she continues sipping her drink in silence. The next few minutes are spent with us making small talk until both of our cups are empty. Phew! If I wasn't before, I'm certainly energized now. Hope you're ready, Mark. Sadly, my coffee wasn't strong enough to grant such a power, but I'll try my best. Well, aren't I just lucky? Anyway, what's next on the agenda? Excuse me. More dragging me along the sidewalk while trying not to have a panic attack? An interesting idea, but no. I made up a list of places you might be interested in visiting, so we can spend some time working through that. Though there is somewhere else we have to be by 4:30. Somewhere to be, huh? You've officially piqued my interest. Well, patience is a virtue and all that. For now, you'll have to settle with walking around the city. Fair enough, but I'm taking the lead if you plan on holding hands again. It really did feel like I was being dragged. My bad, maybe the crowds got me more than I thought. Yeah, hearing you admit to a mistake already makes the whole date worth coming on. Punk. I don't even intend to take the lead if you don't know where we're going. You were looking at your phone's GPS earlier, right? Yeah? In that case, just let me carry it instead. Or do you have something on there that you don't want a cute and innocent underclassman to see? Aside from the plethora of pornographic images and the messages related to my part-time job as a sex worker? Not really. Then it's fine. No reaction. Has the novelty of knowing me already worn off? Yeah, a guy's gotta eat and a job's a job. Plus, you being a perv isn't exactly anything new. That's not really the image I was aiming for, but I'm glad to know I'm dating someone so understanding. Right? I am a hell of a catch after all. Yeah, if only I were in a better position to argue. Oh, you are. Yuri is right. Yuri is right there. Yuri is right there. So you can argue that. The next few hours I spent visiting a few different clothing stores and a multi-story mall. Rikka saw a few things she liked, but would respond with, don't worry, this gives us a reason to come back whenever I offer to buy them. We hung out in a hibachi restaurant, whatever that is, from around 3:30 to 4:15, at which time I brought up heading to that place. Now the two of us are back outdoors and walking towards the edge of town. So, gonna tell me where we're going or keep it a surprise until we get there? The place we have to be at by 4:30 isn't anything special, just a taxi stop. A taxi stop? Seriously? That's what I've been getting excited about? You've been warned several times to keep your expectations low around me. True. Anyways, where are you planning for the taxi to take us? You're getting stabbed if you're, say, back home. That would be fucking funny though. It's like, oh, where are we going? Ah, just to my home address or your home address, so I can put you there and like say my goodbyes and stuff. Damn, looks like I'm gonna have to come up with something else. Jerk. She stabs me in the side with her thumb a few times before letting up. Seriously though, I don't know this area at all. How far from the city could a taxi even take us? I couldn't tell you how far exactly, but they do at least go to Nishio. Nishio? Is that where we're headed? Yep. Isn't that pretty close to the ocean? Were you planning on taking me to the beach, senpai? Or maybe you planned this whole day just for a chance to see me in a swimsuit. A nice thought, but I'm personally more interested in skinny dipping. I bet. The date's been pretty good so far. But you have to put in a lot more effort if that's your goal. So you're saying there's a chance. You know, sometimes I think you might actually be some kind of pervert. Well, there's a challenge for some... That's a challenge for some other time. My goal right now is to make you swoon after all. Damn straight. Looking at my phone, I see we're quickly approaching the cab stand. The ride to Nishio is about 45 minutes. Is that okay with you? Of course, I'm willing to spend as much time with senpai as necessary. That a fact? The two of us arrived at the taxi stand after a few minutes of walking and began to ride towards the outskirts of Nishio. Rikka spent a decent chunk of time guessing where exactly we were headed, but had no luck given how the place doesn't technically have a name. Near the end of the ride, our cab entered a less residential area lined with hills and trails. One such trail was our destination, with the taxi letting us out near the entrance. Oh, wasn't this where I, went with Monika on the date? Rikka rushes over to the railings the second we're out of the car. It smells salty, and nice view of the ocean, and that's your response? Guess I should have expected as much from a bumpkin. Then what would you have said, huh, Mr. Romance? I glanced around out at the vast, near-endless view of the turquoise, disturbed only by the few specks of white lining the soft, smooth skyline. Smells like salt. See? She shoves me back and forth while exclaiming this. Try not to blow all your excitement just yet. We've still got some distance to cover before reaching our actual destination. Right? Rikka eagerly grabs hold of my hand as we begin making our way up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is where I went with Monika. A rest area with an even better view of the water awaits us at the summit and final destination of our journey. So this is the spot, huh? It would certainly seem that way. You don't sound like someone who's been here before. Probably because I haven't. Huh? What do you mean? To tell you the truth, coming to Nishio wasn't my idea. Someone else mentioned this spot to me, claiming it to be incredibly important and that the date wouldn't work otherwise. For real? They must really like this place. Oh wow. She kind of looks like Monika, like this. I mean, of course, the eye color is off and the hair is off and whatever, but she kind of looks like Monika, like this. Well, I'm not sure it lives up to that level of hype, but I guess this isn't too shabby. A raving review, right? But standards are high after all. She gazes out at the water for several seconds with a soft smile on her face. So, who's this mystery person you're getting dating advice from? Was it that Sayori girl? Not quite. Though asking her did cross my mind. Monika, the president of my club, was the one who told me about this place. Oh, and the cafe too. So you let another girl plan our date? Not entirely. She recommended a lot more than just 2 spots, but the idea of doing nothing but follow instructions didn't feel right. Oh, sounds like you might be human after all. And when you say Monika, do you mean the super popular 3rd year who used to be captain of the volleyball team? The one and only. You know her? I know of her. Hell, every girl in our high school probably does. So hearing you two are close to talk about dating or even in general is pretty surprising. What can I say? The popular life just works for me. What can I say? And more like the dork life. Wow, sick burn. Think of that one all by yourself? You trying to pick a fight, huh, punk? You know, this place actually does seem super fitting for some good old-fashioned Mortal Kombat. Let's save any death battles for the next stage, shall we? I've got a plant at home that needs watering. Seriously? Nope. Figures, you're totally not the responsible type. She laughs to herself at my expense for a bit before leaning back over the rail. So skinny dipping in Mortal Kombat, huh? Sounds like our next date is going to be pretty extreme. Sure you'll be able to keep up? Well, the Mortal Kombat will be a lot easier for you if I can't. Easier? Huh? Is that even possible? You know, I'm beginning to think you really do want to fight while we're here. Oh, haven't you heard? When a girl teases a guy, it means she likes him. A deeply flawed mindset. If that were the case, you'd have to be head over heels in love with me. Hearing this, Rikka simply responds with a gentle smile aimed at the sea. The two of us stand silent, choosing to enjoy the breeze and warm sunlight. Unfortunately, moments like these never last for me, and I soon find myself thinking about something potentially serious. Rikka, can I ask you something? I thought about this for a while, but never brought it up since it seemed like a touchy subject. A smile immediately fades. I've got a pretty good idea of what you want to ask, but go ahead. Why don't you play sports anymore? You always talk about how much you love them, but chose to become a manager instead of actually competing. She's silent for several seconds before shaking her head. Guess I shouldn't be surprised, it was bound to come up eventually. Don't feel obligated to answer. I won't think any less of you if you decide to keep the details to yourself. She shakes her head once more. I never planned on keeping it a secret. Talking about it just makes me kinda sad. Her gaze drops down towards the water before she continues. My ACL tore... What the hell is that? ECL? Tore during a soccer game in my 3rd year of middle school. Well, I say tore, but it's more like it got shredded. I had to wear a cast for the last half of the semester and then spent summer break doing rehab 4 times a week. Even after I was able to walk comfortably again, my doctor said the ligament was at high risk of re-injury. Because of that, I was banned from doing any competitive sports indefinitely. Your face grows increasingly grim as these old wounds are reopened. I'm sorry to hear that. Don't worry, the tear wasn't your fault, so you don't have to apologize or feel sorry or anything. Seeing the pitiful smile on her face is enough to cause pain to begin invading my chest. You said indefinitely, right? Does that mean they don't know when you might be able to do sports again? No, my dad takes me to the doctor once every few months to see if anything has changed, though there really isn't much difference between now and 2 years ago. He's saying my best option would be to get reconstructive surgery before too much time has passed, but even that's not guaranteed. Have you considered going through with it? Sorta. Are you afraid? A little bit, but my dad's really the one who is really terrified. Your dad? Is he worried the surgery won't work or something? She goes totally silent for several seconds before speaking again. My mom, she died during surgery. There was some complications after she gave birth to me and, well, the pain in my chest continues to grow stronger until finally... What are you... She's surprised by... my embrace at first, but soon settles into the hug. You don't have to feel sorry, remember? Yeah, but this isn't because of that. Huh? Seeing you sad made my chest hurt, and doing this seemed like the best way to make the pain go away. Sorry for being selfish. Honestly, when you say things like that, her voice cracks as she digs her head deeper into my shoulder. We stand holding each other, accompanied by only by the sounds of waves crashing against the rocks below us. I was only a few weeks old when my mom passed away, so it's not like I have any memories of her. But now that I'm older, I realize how hard it was for my dad to raise me by himself. There were a lot of things he didn't understand about growing up as a girl, so I ended up spending a lot of time at my grandmother's as a kid. He doesn't want me going through with the surgery because he's afraid something bad will happen again. He clearly cares about you a great deal. There's no telling just how much he'd dote on me if I didn't always keep him in check. Even though he's always been big into sports, I've never once heard him say he'd... What? Even though he's always been big into sports, I've never once heard him say he'd rather have a son, or that he was disappointed in my performance. What the fuck? Why? How did you fuck that up? Rather have a son, or that he was disappointed in my performance. I was so confused by the word weather there. I was like, what the fuck? But rather is what you mean, not weather. Oh no, well, whether he'd have a son. That you could make it work like that. He'd rather have a son, or whether he'd have a son or not, or whatever. Like you can do weather, but not with he'd in front of it. Make look so odd. He'd rather have a son, or whether he'd have a son. Not he'd rather have a son. That's so weird. Maybe it works, but it just looks super weird and it reads very annoyingly. In fact, I doubt he'd have brought them up at all if not for me always trying to join in. Her sadness is slowly replaced by nostalgia as she speaks. Well, it's a good thing you got involved. Otherwise, you would have missed out on meeting a stud like me. Yeah, right. If not for sports, I'd probably be dating a senpai who was super handsome and had a great personality. So you would have still gone for an upperclassman, huh? I'm beginning to think being older is my only qualification. While that may or may not have happened, I'm glad this is where I'm at. Hearing this makes my heart pound so hard it feels as though I just got punched in the chest. Hey Rikka? Can I kiss you? Kiss? Is that really something you ask so bluntly? Sorry, but these things are still lost on me. I just wanted to make sure. Stupid senpai. After looking at the ground for a moment, she gives a light nod. Wait, let me prepare myself before... She's cut off as our lips meet. The sensation is totally new to me and causes my already racing heart to hit speeds it reasonably shouldn't. Rika stares dumbstruck for several seconds before beginning to pout. Don't you know you're supposed to wait until a girl's ready before you kiss? What if my lips had been chapped or something? Doubt that would have mattered much considering I'm in love with you. To you maybe, but these things mean a lot to a girl. What did you just say? Gonna make me repeat something so embarrassing, huh? Talk about sadistic. But it's true. I love you, Rika. Is something wrong? Giving me taking my own medicine, she cuts me off by bringing her lips to mine. This kiss lasts longer than our last, to the point where I'm nearly dizzy by the end of it. Sorry, I've been kind of waiting for you to say that. Oh, would have done it sooner if I had known this would be your reaction. She bashfully scratches her cheek while taking a step back. Sorry for making the mood so intense on our date. I don't usually tell people why I don't play sports anymore. There's no reason to apologize. I'm normally against prying into the lives of others, but with you, I really did want to know more. That's partially what made me realize love was the thing making my chest hurt. You know, it's kind of surreal hearing you of all people talking about being in pain because of how much you care about someone. Well, this is certainly a new experience for me too. She smiles for a moment before dropping her gaze toward the ground once again. I want to go through with the surgery. And your dad? I'm sure he'd worry and would probably outright refuse if I were to ask now. But this is my decision to make. Sure, it's scary to think about, but if it means I'll have a chance to play sports and run around like I used to, I'm willing to take the chance. Then do you have a plan for how to go about doing it? I wouldn't need his consent anymore if I wait until graduation, but going another whole year without doing anything will only hurt my chances. Maybe over the next break would be better. I'm sure Uncle Taki would back me up if I let him know this is what I wanted. And if he doesn't listen to us, we could always have you knock some sense into him. Doesn't your dad work out a lot? I'd prefer to not pick a fight if I couldn't win. Even for your girlfriend? Sorry, but I take my physical health very seriously. Though I'd be more willing to give you a piggyback ride whenever you wanted post-surgery. Including after I've healed? You're a greedy one. Just seeing how reliable my senpai really is. She playfully pokes my chest while exclaiming this. Jokes aside, I honestly wouldn't mind talking to him if you wanted me to. Well, I appreciate the offer, but my dad really is overprotective. Just meeting him would be a battle in itself. Don't worry, he'd come around to me eventually. They always do. Oh, and who is this they? Do such people truly exist? I can think of at least one. Her cheeks become slightly flushed as I rest my hand on her head. Jeez, just how many corny lines do you plan on feeding me today? Must have really lost my marbles to fall for such a dorky senpai. I'll say. The next several minutes pass with us enjoying each other's company while watching the sun slowly grow lower in the sky. And now it's nighttime. We decided to head towards the nearest train station once early evening had rolled around. The sun had gone down long before we arrived home, leaving me to walk her partway to home in the dark. There's more? Fucking hell.